to the beneficiaries, because we strongly think while we are helping them, they also have the words to say. So what we do in Haiti, especially in Leogane, when we enter into the community, we talk first to the leaders and we explain them what we are as an organization and what we intend to do, and we start a participatory process, and we sit with all the leaders, and together we establish the rules and the principles, the criteria to serve the population. In Leogane, how did we choose the beneficiaries? We have a local committee with the leaders in that community. Together we put to the table the criteria of habitat, and they add on them, and we decided to pick the most affected families after the earthquake. It was an open process where all the leaders and those who are living in that community, we agreed on some criteria, and we say, because what we're going to deliver for the first phase, we cannot satisfy everyone, let's pick the most affected ones while we continue serving other on the waiting list. That's the way we select the beneficiaries.
Thanks, Claude. If I can talk for just a minute about what will happen over the next few weeks after you all leave. Clearly, the work that you've done on the house was the bulk of the project. The houses look fantastic, and as Claude said, we can't thank you enough, and we will be saying that until the minute you get on the bus to leave for the airport. The work that you've done is astounding. The quality of the work that you've done is incredible, and we're so thankful for that. But there are more aspects to the project than just the homes. As we begin next week, there will be well drilling equipment that will hit the site, and over the course of the next 2 to 3 weeks, we will drill 26 wells in and around the community so that there's clean drinking water for all of the families. In addition to that, you may have noticed the two very brightly colored kind of cement bunkers over in the far corner that are adjacent to the two houses. Those are the prototype latrines that will be matched with every single house that you build. So over the course of the next 6 weeks, there will be 150 latrines, 26 water points, and road improvements to all of the roads that run through the project. It's also important to understand that there's a continuing education process going on for the families. They have been involved in sweat equity for several months now. Many have dug the foundations. You are all aware now of the kind of titanic foundations we have under those houses. They, for the most part, are the ones that dug those foundations with shovels, without power equipment of any kind. They have been involved in that sweat equity process for some time. They will continue to have additional training on disaster risk mitigation and construction technology. You've probably noticed that there are two little buttresses that come off the back of the foundation that look like they serve no meaningful purpose. Those are the beginning of the next stage of building for those families. Those are extensions of the foundation that will allow them to build another room on the back of their home. That process will take some time. It will be their responsibility to find the funding for that work. We may or may not have a micro-enterprise opportunity that will help them to raise additional funds. But the plan, the reason we call those homes core homes, is because we believe that's stage one of a permanent shelter. Families will continue to expand beyond where that house currently is, and the disaster risk mitigation and construction education that they'll receive will make it so that they build to a higher standard than the buildings that were built here before and that fell down. So there's a fairly significant ongoing process as we move forward in this site. The last couple of things that I will mention about the site itself, and then we'll open it up for questions, are that the current site plan is planned for 500 homes. There's also a plan for a school and a marketplace. Currently, there's no funding for those two things, but we are actively looking for partners for both the school and the marketplace. So over the course of the next few years, we hope that the families that live in the Santo project, in the CWP project in Leogane, will have a new school, fresh water, clean sanitation, and a wonderful place to raise their families. And you have been the beginning of that process. So thank you so much. Now, if there are questions, we'll try to see you.
Mark, can you tell us about the community solar lighting you have on the site? You didn't mention that.
Oh, yeah. If you notice, there's some very high-tech light poles out there on the site. Those are solar-powered community lighting. Obviously, there's no electronic or electrical grid in the Santo area. It's very important. One of the issues, and the Carters discussed it earlier, violence against women in the camps is extraordinarily high. It's very important that there be light in the community as we go forward. So at this point, we have the community solar lighting. We expect to continue to improve that in terms of the number of light poles that we have in the area. And we're in discussions now about individual solar lighting solutions for each family, so that there'll be at least an LED light in each home that can be there for children to read and to do their studies, and for the family to have light in the evenings.
Hello, Marcus Asier from Spain. I would like to know if this house is given to the families, to the beneficiaries for free, or they have to pay something.
As you know, Habitat for Humanity is a revolving fund program. That means families have to pay back what we spend for them over 5 or 10 years, depending on the level of intervention. Because of what happened in Haiti on January 12, families have lost everything. So they just need a booster to get back on their feet financially. This solution is an accompaniment. It's a way to help them getting back on their feet. They pay their sweat equity, so they have to spend 250 hours to build this house. But if they want to expand it over time, to add more rooms, they're gonna get credit and pay back. But this core home is free, just to help them getting back on their feet, as I said.
Good evening. I'm Heather Lafferty from Denver, Colorado News. First, want to thank both of you. You have been outstanding leaders here in Haiti, and I can't imagine the challenges that you have faced in preparing this week for all of us. So thank you so much for what you have done. So many people back in the United States who are following what we're doing this week and have asked numerous times, when can they come? When can they join a Global Village trip and come to Haiti and to have the kind of experience that we've had? And so I'm curious if either of you could talk a little bit more about what Global Village will look like here in Haiti in the future.
We've piloted several Global Village trips in the lead up to CWP. As many of you may know, Haiti has not been hosting GB trips for some time due to the security situation in the country. We feel like between the pilot GB trips that we've done and this enormous event, we've kind of crossed that line. And we feel at this point like we can begin to build a very viable long-term Global Village program. Our hope is that we'll begin to host trips in the early part of next year. We need this next 6 weeks or so to finish this work along with some of the other projects we're working on, but we'll begin recruiting for GB trips probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks for early next year.